A shiny gleaming barrier in front of my own damn road. That's when I knew this wasn't just a land dispute anymore. This was war. My name's Dan Horsby. I'm 45 years old, and if there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I don't back down. Ever. I own 260 acres of Montana ranch land that I've worked for decades, sweat blood, and more than a few busted fences. I took over the ranch from my father, a former forest ranger who taught me everything I know about land and livestock. These days I keep to myself running cattle and fixing machines. That's my life and my land. Now you might be wondering why a man like me who values solitude and hard work is in a fight with some suburban HOA. Let me tell you how it all started. Beaver Summit. That's what they call this new little slice of suburban America that popped up just a few miles down the road from me. Perfect lawns, identical houses, mailboxes that all look like they were mass-produced. They built it about 5 years ago. At first, I didn't pay much attention. I figured they'd stay to their cookie-cutter houses and their perfect lives. I was wrong. See, my access road, the one that leads up to my ranch, cuts through the edge of their development. It's been registered in my name since 1993. It starts at the county highway, runs about 1.5 miles through my land, and ends at my barn. Simple. My road. My rules. But that didn't matter to them. It started small at first, joggers cutting through, then families on bikes, kids riding behind their parents like ducks in a row. Eventually it turned into something worse. People began using my road as a shortcut to the lake, even though there's a perfectly good public road not 2 miles around. I saw SUVs bouncing down my gravel road like they owned it. I even caught someone parking their Prius on my field once. Thought it was a picnic area, I guess. And one afternoon, a family set up an inflatable pool near my cattle fence, blasting pop music so loud it scared off the hawks. But the final straw came one May morning. I was out in the pasture fixing a fence when I heard a scream. Hammerjack, my 2,000-pound bull, was charging the fence. I rushed over, and there past the fence were 2 teenagers flying a drone in front of him. Hammerjack was pissed. One of the kids tripped, and Hammerjack clipped him. Not fatal, but it was a nasty gash. I called the ambulance, helped the kid until the medics showed up, but it was clear to me this was no accident. How did the HOA respond? Did they apologize? Nope. Karen Miller, the kid's mother, showed up and screamed at me for having unsafe livestock. She said my fence should be taller. I asked her, "What part of private property do not enter, didn't you get?" She didn't get it. They didn't get it. I'd already posted plenty of signs. Big, bold, red and white ones saying this was private property. I'd even confronted some of the offenders directly. I told them, "You're on my land, don't come back." But they just smiled and came back the next day. After the Hammerjack incident, I'd had enough. My lawyer helped me file a civil suit against the Millers. We won. I was awarded about $15,000 for the damages to my property and the emotional distress caused by their kids' antics. It felt like justice, but then came the retaliation. Next week, someone threw raw chicken guts in my driveway. Then my mailbox got smashed twice. Every time I drove past Beaver Summit, I could feel the glares and hear the mutters. JOA board meetings were talking about me by name. Word was out I was the crazy cowboy trying to ruin everyone's good time. But I didn't care. Then I met Karen Oldridge, the HOA queen bee. She was a piece of work. I thought I had seen petty before, but Karen, she was about to teach me a whole new level of it. It was a Thursday when I saw it right there at the end of my road at the narrowest point near Beaver Summit was a massive metal gate locked tight. Fresh paint, digital keypad, security cameras, a sign that read private access, unauthorized entry prohibited, violators will be prosecuted. I was stunned. Not angry, not scared, just confused. It was my road, my land. My name was on the deed. But Karen and her board didn't care about that. They didn't even send me a letter or a warning. They just blocked me out. I couldn't believe it. I called my friend Earl, the only guy I knew who had a backhoe that could help me with this. And Earl, he didn't even ask why. He just said, "Let's fix this." That afternoon, we went out there with a chain, a backhoe, and a GoPro strapped to the hood. Earl ripped that gate right out of the ground, concrete and all. I sprayed it with paint. Illegal obstruction removed. Next one gets burned. Then I posted the video online, just thinking a few rancher friends might get a kick out of it. By the time the sun set, the video had 10,000 views. By midnight, it was up to 60,000. It went viral. People started reaching out. Some wanted to print my face on a t-shirt. Others wanted me on podcasts. The next day, I noticed tire tracks near the wreckage. 2 SUVs from the HOA side, but they didn't dare cross the line. Good. Let them look. I didn't hear from Karen for a couple of days. But by the third day, she sent me a letter hand-delivered, not mailed. It was a threat claiming I had destroyed community property. They even filed an appeal with the county to designate my road as public. They wanted to take it from me. I called my lawyer, Lily. She didn't waste time. She told me the HOA wasn't just trying to sue me for damages, they were trying to steal my road. They had filed a motion with the county to claim it as a public easement, but I wasn't going to let that happen. One afternoon while I was out on the property, I found something else. A metal container leaking motor oil right into the creek near my land. I didn't hesitate. I called the EPA. 2 agents showed up and I showed them the source. This wasn't just a spill, it was an attempt to ruin my land's reputation. Someone was trying to make it look like I was polluting my own creek. I knew it was Karen. The timing was too perfect. By that night, I had a plan. I called in Simon, a journalist I knew who'd filmed local corruption. Together, we set up cameras. I messaged Karen through the HOA's portal. I told her I wanted to meet. A few hours later, she showed up in an Escalating business. She tried to intimidate me, threaten me with the EPA and the county. I just nodded and said, "You're being recorded." She looked up and saw Simon's drone hovering above. She turned pale. The next day, the video went viral. It had over 200,000 views by the evening, and Karen went silent. Her email stopped. Her name disappeared from the HOA's statements. But this wasn't over. The HOA sued me, trying to get $32,000 in damages. But Lily was ready. She filed a countersuit exposing the forged documents they used to build the gate. The judge saw it all: fraud, environmental tampering, the whole mess. In the end, the HOA lost. The judge ruled in my favor, and Karen was charged with multiple criminal offenses. The HOA was ordered to pay me $380,000 in damages. But the real victory: my Road 12B was officially recognized as private. The county reissued the property maps confirming it was mine. Karen resigned quietly. She didn't get a press conference. No grand exit, just a letter to the HOA board. She pled guilty, and now she can't serve on any board for the rest of her life. As for me, I didn't need to gloat. I replaced the old bullet-riddled sign at the entrance with a shiny new one: private road. Trespassers will be recorded, reported, and sued. And under that, in smaller letters, it said, "We've done it before." So the next time you're tempted to mess with someone who owns their land and their fight, remember there's a difference between a fence and a fortress. And fences don't make you mean, they make you free.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.